What's up, everybody? What's up? This is your boy DC. We back again. Today is going to be a beautiful day. I have a very, very special guest. All day I've been waiting. Trust me, my hands all sweating. I'm all nervous. I don't really get that nervous that much, but she got me a little nervous out here. But I'm gonna do my best
No,
to
I
try to
think you
do this.
did that to me.
I'm gonna do this thing, give it some justice. I had people calling me all day. I got Orlando from Houston. He's watching. I got some
Okay.
people in Florida watching.
Orlando.
Yeah, I got people once I put it out there and everybody knew that this special guest was gonna come on, everybody hit me up say I'm gonna be glued to it. So,
Oh, that's what's up.
even my own camp calling me and say what time I start. I got time to go get something to eat and come back. People treating this thing like it's gonna be a movie, and we gonna give it to them
Yeah, I
just
hate
like that.
being skipped.
We're gonna give it to them just like that. So let me get this music off here a little bit. All right, we're gonna talk about the young lady that's coming on, Miss Melvia. She's with Three Elite. She's the president, and we're gonna dive into it. And like I said, I've been waiting on this thing all day, so I'm just gonna bring her in, and I want you guys to just open up your arms, and we're just gonna say welcome. What's up, Miss Melville?
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
It's a blessing to be in your presence, and I'm hoping that my audio sounds good because I got my microphone so far up because I need room to be able to get to my questions and stuff to make sure. I did you get all my questions that I sent over to you?
I got some of them. Yes, yes, I did. I think you're gonna have a surprise or two for me, so I'm waiting
Oh
to
yeah,
see
oh
what
yeah,
you
oh yeah.
do.
I'm gonna throw little nuggets in there. Hey, that's what's gonna keep this thing interesting. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
let's get into the meat of this thing. Who is
Okay.
Melville?
Before we start on who is Melvia, I just want to thank my club because I'm a representation today of three elite wind riders, but I have a co-founder, Brian Coleman, and I have some amazing members that can equally be in the seat and represent our club in a positive fashion. I can't do it without them. Before I start anything, I want to acknowledge each and every last one of them and appreciation for what they do. Um, with that said, Melvia, Southern girl, born and raised, Birmingham, Alabama. Amazing parents of Henry and Evelyn. A lot of the things that you see, the traits, the strength, the leadership, everything that I offer today is components of the makeup from my two parents. So that's who I am. Professionally, I'm a leader at a very large healthcare organization, but that's not the focus. The focus is definitely why we're doing this. And I've been in Atlanta since 1997. So
Oh
it's been a
wow.
minute. It's like
Okay.
a second home for sure.
Oh, that's what's up. So when was the first time that you rode a bike, and what kind was it?
Okay. So when you know we're in the South, you don't get training, right? You borrow your cousin's bike. It was a Honda 150 with red flames. It was white with red flames down the side. You get on, you ride, you fall, you get back up, and you learn to ride. No license, you start early. And that was the way of life. I started from riding a big wheel all the way up to riding a motorcycle and anything else I can be adventurous with. But I will say for the three wheel community, in my heart and love for three wheel, I started about 4 years ago. But it truly has been a dream since 2009. Just never moved on it until 4 years ago, and it's the best thing that I could have ever done in this community.
Oh wow. So what did you find it difficult to when you was riding? Did you find it difficult to transition from I guess back in the days until how the bikes have changed now?
Well, riding a motorcycle is its own beast, right? I think the only comparison that you can make is really sharing of the wind. It's two different fields, two different lanes, two different interactions. So I would say three wheels is definitely easier to adapt, especially when you're starting older, you haven't been riding for a while. It's something new. It gives you a little bit, it depends on how you ride, of course, a little bit more security with the stabilization that's happening. But with that said, very easy, felt natural from the beginning, and exciting for me.
Okay. So when you went to go take your road test, how is it
Mhm.
different between now and today? How people are riding?
Right. So I guess in the past it was no road test. That's normal. We rode dirty, right? But as you get a little older, you get a little wiser. The first thing I did was signed up for the Can-Am class. So did the 2-day course with Can-Am, completed that course successfully. And as everyone know, you pretty much take your exam right there after doing your testing of 2 days. You go and get your license, and then my famous co-founder and vice president, Brian Coleman, picked me up right after training, and he and Robbie took me on a 50-mile ride. So, just like the old days in the South, get on, let's go. And it's been exciting since then.
Oh wow, that's good. That's good. Because right now, when people try to, like, I know a lot of newcomers that's riding now, and then when you mention
Hmm.
them about the class,
Hmm.
they look at you like it's a foreign thing. But it's
Right,
important that I tell everybody to go to that class, even though that you think you experience or not. It's some certain things in that class that teaches you kind of like survival skills when you're out and
right.
about. Because I
I
remember
agree.
myself, I had an episode a couple of weeks ago when I was on my way down 75 South. A car came out of nowhere and just like completely just stopped in front of me.
Right.
So one of the trainers that I was taught to is let go the throttle and hit the brakes as soon as possible. Some
Hmm.
people wouldn't know how to act in that type of situation. They'll probably keep their hand on the throttle, or they'll try to merge over to the right or merge over to the left, not knowing what traffic is coming on either side. So I think it's
Right.
very important for people, if they don't have their license or didn't go to the training, to get that training.
Yeah, we definitely encourage training. I have friends that's been wanting to ride for years, new to riding, even riding motorcycles. It's a difference, right? The maneuvering of it is different than a motorcycle, and you can't take it for granted. So safety is always first. And another thing that, with our club, we require that you're licensed, so that is a requirement in order to be in our group. And we encourage all new riders to go to training. I mean, safety, you can never have enough training to prepare you for everyday riding.
Good. Well, that was my next question about your group. How did that
Mhm.
group start? I mean, who came up with the idea? Who thought of the name? How did the bylaws? How all that stuff started? Because a lot of people
All right.
just they just get together and say we're a group, but they don't know the structure of the group. So could you explain that part of how you guys got together?
Yeah, so let me start. We did navigate from a different club, right? So we started as a club, and as you mentioned, you get together, you start a club, you decide how you want to run a club, and then things can change. One thing that I did value in mentioning that we came from a club, you learned about family, you learned about like-minded thoughts and how you want to run this. At the end of the day, you have to understand, what is your vision, what are you trying to accomplish, what are you rallying around. And if you're just pulling yourself together without a vision, you're not going to have a direction that you can go in. So with that said, I appreciate where we came from, and some very like-minded people came with me. I was thinking I wanted to start a club. Um, it was, I was on a small scale. Let me say that. I never thought we would be where we are today. I was sitting down and I asked Brian Coleman, I said, hey, you want to join me? I want to start a club. Don't you want a co-founder with me? And he told me I was crazy. And was I sure? So I hope he's listening. Um, and I said, yeah, we can do this. And we had some core people that, really transitioned with us. And if we had stopped right there with those 14 very strong people, I consider myself blessed and happy. So we're moving to, I had the vision to start the club. We rallied around what we call, if you see our vest, just to give credit to, what I call, just kind of starting founding this with me and just lockstep with me is 14 people. We, on the back of our vest, you will see heart hands, loving heart hands that are connected. That represents the 14 that came and bought into this vision that I had along with Brian. And they're still core to this day. We're still a solid family working together to make this club successful. So I want to give respect to them because as you talk about how do you start, a club is not one person. A club is never big. One person is never bigger than the actual club itself.
Right. Right.
So, I want to acknowledge them for buying into the vision. We, knew we were new. We gave ourselves grace and mercy to make mistakes. We talked about what we didn't want. We talked about what we needed. And we came up with slogans. Slogans, if you talk about 3E, you see this on our page, it's all about the ride. That was the thing that brought us together, right? We knew it was all about the ride and protecting that. Then we grew into friendship. And this is the core foundation. And then we grew into a family. With that said, each step, as you just heard me mention, we talked. We talked about, what was the name? We took votes. I mean, we probably had about 10 names out there and we started scratching them off and then we kind of end up merging two names together and we're like, oh wow, that's it. Then we started thinking about our patch. That was the hardest thing. How do you come up with a vision? But I can
Right.
say we all partnered together and we came up with the vision. I kind of fooled around with some companies that did bad design. Again, we had a brand new member that came in and she stepped in, took it to an artist, and brought it back to us. That's powerful for someone to come in right away and start making a footprint within this family that we have. So, I always give Kenitra credit for doing that for us. And it started our logo. And from there, we started our bylaws. We did it as a group. We took a few things. We talked about our slogan. We talked about who we wanted to be in the community. Um, charity events. You know, kind of connecting with other groups. I'm always asking. Lando, SCAD. We got all of these guys around, and I'm touching base because we want to be the connector in a positive way that is a part of the community that is there. So we play that role. We knew we wanted the charity. We knew we were unity. It was all about the ride. And then we took our bylaws to what we felt our foundation was, how we wanted to handle this club. And we set rules around that. And one of the things you heard me mention earlier is we wanted this club to never be about one person or two people. In that fact, if you say Brian or myself, this is not just about us. Everyone has a voice. So the first thing that we did is wrote our bylaws and we made ourselves in a way that everyone has a voice. And if I am not a true representation of a positive image of this club, we do have in our bylaws, even though I'm a founder and that would never change, and I will always have engagement, but it's an honor to be a president, and I have to earn that role every day. I have to play a good steward and take care of the people that I call family. So if that's not done, we vote every 3 years on president, vice president, sergeant at arms, treasurer every 4 years, and then we add to our officers around road captains and other safety things. But we meet if we make a change to our bylaws. We meet, we vote on it, we talk about it, and vote it in. So it's still a family, it's still a voice, and we take it from there. But I have to earn being, honored to represent this club as the president, and I don't take that lightly.
Yeah. You took my next question when I was going to ask you about the
Okay.
president, how you guys come about
Yeah.
president, vice president, and I like that you guys vote on it all the time
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
you know just because you're the co-founder and the founder, that doesn't mean that you have to be the president all the time. You know, you may
Right,
see some leadership in other people in that role that can do that. Then that way you can
right.
step back and just be a mentor to that president, incoming president, but still have the foundation that you put in place, you and your VP,
Right.
the vision, still come to light.
I'll say this. Any leader on this call that is listening from any club, one of the key factors is, yeah, we are the presidents, vice presidents, but that individual contributor leadership skill, that step in, come in and make things happen in the club is priceless. We play an important role, but it's not the role. It is those individuals that display leadership throughout everything they do, whether it's planning a ride, planning an outing. We have various committees like apparel committee, event planning committee, travel committee, and you have individuals that step up and own that role that kind of make it easier for us, right? And so I think if you ask for if you're looking for a certain type, when you start thinking about your club, it's those leaders that can step in and make things happen and not sitting to be told.
Yeah, that's what's up because that's very important. My next question also too has to do with the community. How often do you guys get involved with your community? Like charity events, just events, period, in the community. How often do you guys do
Okay.
that?
Frequently, and this starts our busy time of the year. So let me just kind of rattle from the top. We have um, Shantae Bacon found a opportunity for three elites to really dive in and help underprivileged kids, right? Working out, improving fitness. And she came and she pitched her vision to us. So we have a annual event where we buy tennis shoes for underprivileged kids. You probably
Oh
have seen
wow,
it on our page. And we give them gifts or get their sizes. And we have, Lamont and Tay kind of running around and they're shopping, pulling tennis shoes that is going to be proud, right? Not just giving someone some tennis shoes to say you gave it,
gave him,
but they
yeah,
really put their heart and soul into finding the right tennis shoes based on, female, male, size, and age appropriate, and they do an excellent job. So this will be our third year in doing that. So I really want to give that honor. The next thing we do is the Christmas Angel event. We have done that, I would say pre three elite wind riders working with Bishop Donna Hubbard, where we're gifting toys, clothes, wrapping gifts, and taking the bikes down in celebration of the day of giving gifts. We work with, one of our other members, Jeanette Thomas. She lead for the football. It started off with Dallas Nation, and I hate I say it, Dallas Nation, but it's true. Uh, so I'm sure some of my Dallas fans, especially in my club, is going to give me a hard time. But I had to say, but with that aside, great work she was already a part of, and she allowed us to start coming in and feeding the hungry. We also have done charity events where we have created bags and went down, clothing drives, coat drives, hats, and then we have Lang Horn Brown, you probably saw on our page recently, where he's joined with other people giving out care packets, for cleanliness in the community. So that is something that has been a part of our makeup. And I would say not just to this club, the people that is a part of this club has
hmm
that type of heart anyway. So it just kind of, married together. So it worked and we were able to write it in as what we do in our bylaws and it's still successful.
that's wow. It's like you guys do a lot. I mean, to me, you guys are a definition of a true bike club because you hear a lot of stories about different bike clubs, but you hear some of the things that they do, but you really don't see it. But
Right.
for what you're telling me, you guys are like active in the community, and which is
Yes.
real good. Have you ever thought about collab with any other bike club doing any other charity event, or is it just the three elite show?
No, no. X marked the spot. Everybody know Love Jones, Kenya. We have partnered with her. We unfortunately, it was a loss of life from one young man, and we partnered with them as a ride for the family. So yes, we have partnered. We also with Love Jones, Kenya. We worked around back to school, right? Back to school program, giving bags, going into an underprivileged neighborhood that was led and fostered. She's always pulling different groups together, and we're happy to partner. So I will say this: if it's a good cause, a good charity, good ride, making a difference in the community, three elite win riders, we will partner, and we look for those opportunities to partner within the community, whether it is in the state or out of the state.
Yeah, that's my next question too, because I know that you guys do a lot of rides. How often do you do rides out of the state of Georgia? Because I know by being here in Georgia, you guys probably done hit every road, every sidewalk, every Nixon corner in the city of Atlanta and around Atlanta. But how often do you go outside of Atlanta to ride?
Frequently. So we managed to put out, anywhere from 2 to 3 rides a month. This summer got a little hot. It was a little above average. It was a little
Oh
dangerous to
yeah,
try to ride
it was
midday.
cooking out. It was
So we had
cooking.
to be, yeah, I think this was probably the slowest summer we've had. But typically, our MO is we organize 2 to 3 months in advance, and we put out anywhere from 2 to 3 rides a month. Now, in between that, you heard me mention that the group is a family. We're friends. We enjoy hanging with each other. So we do pop up rides. Somebody put something in the group me and say, "Hey, anybody want to ride today? I'm meeting here." So a lot of rides in between those 2 to 3 are
Pop
ad
up
hoc
rides.
because, yeah, pop up rides is what we call them. So it's not planned. We may go down south and see Hope, or we need to go up and see Surreal or Chris. It doesn't matter. We will show up, and we like to support our members because we're in Metro Atlanta. We're literally all around Metro Atlanta.
Now,
So.
now the rides that you gotta take and then the pop up rides, is it solely just for your group or is it invite for anybody else who has a three wheel?
I have to be honest. We have been very protective of writing, making sure we had our own foundation solid, right? When you invite other people in, you have to make sure that your writing style is safe. You have your club, your communication, your headsets, your ability to be able to navigate big groups. We took that time, the last 2 years, 2.5 years, we've really worked toward building the foundation of who we are, keeping our rides private, and we're actually looking for next month to open up our first ride within Facebook. So it will be a large open ride for all that is welcome to come. So that is something new for us. But I believe taking your time slow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Taking care of home, building your foundation, knowing who you are as individual club, right? Not morphing into someone else, but really owning the space in which we enjoy. And we're not apologizing for it because I felt like we needed to build that. And now you see us venturing out more, enjoying other rides with other groups. It's not a no to do that. You're representing 3E. We know that you're family, and we've taken the time to build that foundation. So you'll see some rides coming from us. You're right. We still got a few places in Georgia we haven't tapped, like Savannah, Tabby Island, Hilton Head. We got a few cool things that we can do. But we got a little short ride coming up. We'll get to enjoy with everyone. Hope you
Okay.
guys join us.
Okay. Another question too that came to mind is, do you ever see the city of Atlanta getting like Houston, like the WAP?
Now, come on now. The WAP is the WAP.
Well,
I don't know if Lando is, if Lando is
I know
listening.
that, but I'm just
So
saying, do you ever see the city of Atlanta coming to that type of, you know, stat?
yeah, if you want me to be real honest, I think we had great opportunity with the air event. And I think that Atlanta need to rally around that event even more. Unfortunately, I had to travel this year and wasn't there. But we got an opportunity. Like I said, I don't want to compare to WAP. WAP is unique in itself. So
Yeah.
there is no comparison, and it's mad respect for what Lando is doing and what other cities are doing is very respectful. So what Atlanta can do, we got a great opportunity. And I would just like us to unify more. I think we got opportunity. You know, Three Elite is non-biased, so we don't pick sides within groups, clubs. We are a connector in the community and making a positive image. And I would say I would love to see next year when Milo and everyone else put Air Event on the map. I would like to see us come forth and really stand behind that and make it bigger. With all of the clubs and groups in Atlanta itself, that's over 200 bikes by itself. So
Yeah.
anything under 200 bikes at that air event is we need to be ashamed of ourselves.
Yeah.
We can
Yeah.
do better.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know I
that's
know I can
yeah,
put a little nugget out there. U
yeah.
three is getting ready to produce something almost the size of the WAP. So we're in the
Hmm.
midst of working all the, logistics together, but we're not going to make it where it's the same time where the air event because we want the
Absolutely.
air event to be successful. So
Right, right.
we may either do it before or either after, but we just got to pick a date. But we are working on something real big, that I think everybody will be proud of to say that they came out to this event.
Well, three E. If some of you guys know us, we cut it short. We support all the groups making a connection. So when you guys make it happen, we're there to support.
Yes. Also,
So
too, what you think about all these pop up bike nights? I know we have Wednesday night pseudos, and then it was Thursday night, and then now it's Tuesday night. So I just heard about a Monday night. It's just like I'm like when people gonna go home?
no, when people are going to work
Yeah,
at
yeah,
this
that too,
age, you're
that too.
working
Yeah, yeah,
professionals, right?
yeah.
So, and I'll tell you, with all of us being working professionals, and when I say working professionals, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're out making your money, handling your business, you are a working professional. But with that said, me personally, I will go to bike night, once a week. I hate that we have to compete in the three-wheel community.
Yes,
I don't want to have to pick and choose between my friends. So I don't like when there's duplication of nights. And I think if we can come together in understanding what we're doing, we can be a little bit more impactful. But 4 nights a week of bike night, one of the groups, one of the leaders of those nights are going to miss out on a lot of money, a
yeah,
lot of attention, and it's going to lose the purpose of what they're trying to accomplish. Everybody have great ideas. The problem is we got to learn how to work together so we can be successful for the city
exactly.
of Atlanta.
And see,
And
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 that's why I said if we can all come together, it can be as big or the same caliber as the WAP. So not knocking
yeah,
what Lando's doing because he got that thing like by the gridlock. So it just like
yeah,
we just trying to bring that same type of vibe and energy here to the city
right,
because there's too many of us that ride and we all cross each other all the time. So there's time
right,
out for all this tit for tat and pick a group, pick a side. It's just like we all grown. Let's just come together as a unit and show that we can be unified as a unit
right,
and that we can coincide in the same space. Um,
right.
that's that's what it's all about. So now
Absolutely.
let's talk about branding because I know
Ah,
I,
okay.
I know that your club takes the Three Elite brand serious.
Yeah, it is. We stand behind that brand. That is everything we believe in. That is who we are. And if you're wearing that patch, that vest, you're a representation of who we are. So what you're going to see is family first, great riding, and positivity. That's who we are.
So
Yeah.
when you guys came up with the idea with the patch,
Hmm.
when you was creating it, what came through your minds with the colors, what type of bite to put on it, how the circle is made. I mean, how did you actually come up with that patch? And then when you finally say that's it, how did you say, okay, well, we have to make this patch mean something. People got to respect it, and who wear it has to respect the brand as well.
Respect is earned first, right? Anyone that think that respect is automatically given because you put a vest on, It doesn't mean anything. So the respect come in how you represent yourself in the community, how you represent yourself in your own family, right? Who you see that we are, that's who we are. We enjoy each other. We're just, doing what we need to do to make a representation. And it doesn't matter if the limelight is on us or not. I probably can think of a few faces in front of me right now that would prefer not to be in the limelight and just do what we do. So understand the brand, and because we all bought into the vision, we
Right.
all created the brand, we all talked through the patch. The 3 bikes in the city of Atlanta was something that I always dreamed of having, and like I said, I talked about it, gave rough drafts. Kanitra worked with someone, brought it to life. We had went through like 5 iterations that was very unattractive, and then all of a sudden she came, and it was like, that's it. That is it. And I think every single person, orange, we just kind of fell into that. We wanted something that popped. Atlanta is Atlanta. Nothing is like Atlanta,
The
but
red and
red
black.
is everywhere.
Yeah.
Red and black is everywhere. So I
Yeah.
didn't want red and black. Um, and we fell into the orange. It worked. It stuck. Happened to match my bike, but um, it stuck, and we've been running with it ever since. I don't have my hats on. I have my logo T-shirt,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
have my orange 3E hat. Anything that I can do to represent our brand and be true and true for 3 Elite, I'm ready.
So what do your club do during the off season? When it's like, do you guys ride
What is
all
off?
season
What is
like
off
cold?
season? Yes. What is off season? We ride.
Hey, I'm
It's
just
all
saying
about the
because
ride.
when it's cold, I ain't got there yet.
Listen, listen. I had heated hand grips put on my F3.
See, there you
We
go.
ride.
There you go.
Buy your gear, buy your gear, and you ride. You have a good time. But yeah, truly, we ride year round. Now, of course, if it's super cold,
Yeah.
or rainy, no. But for the most part, we ride year round. So I can't say, if you say off season, I would change the word to slow season
Slow season.
instead of
Okay.
off season.
Got you.
Yeah,
Slow
because we
season.
ride all the time.
Got you.
Slow, yes, absolutely,
Now on some of your
absolutely.
on some of the rides that your club has been out there, what's one of your best spots that you visit?
Oh my goodness. We got quite a few. Um, you know, my road captains, they do a great job. If you guys haven't met Will Mitchell, like create some of the amazing rides, and he picked great restaurants. Lake Lanier, Warm Springs is my absolute favorite ride that Pop has led. Just the views. Going south, we're always going north for the mountains, but down to Warm Springs was really nice. And we just took a ride up to Athens, and one of our
I heard
members,
that's a
Marcus,
beautiful place
told us
too.
about, yeah, he told us about a lake that he always visit. So we went over to the lake and had a good time. So those stand out for in Georgia, I would say, right? Short rides, hour and a half, 2 hours, really getting a good feel in. Long rides, Tail of a Dragon, Sherrill Hollow Parkway.
Yeah.
You got to you eat your Wheaties that morning because those are turns for you. And then we just did we had Hope, Jeanette, and I just rode with No Club, No Rules, and we did the Maggie Valley Run ride
Oh
up
wow.
and ended up in Asheville and enjoyed that. And that was a beautiful ride with about 35 plus bikes, and it was amazing ride. So that, if you have not done that Valley ride, that is a must do. To take your time going up through Cherokee and
Hmm.
through elevations of 6,000 feet. Really a good ride.
When you're riding like that in a pack, um,
Hmm.
I know you have your road captains and stuff like that, and I know that
Hmm.
the person up front has headsets, and the person in the back they communicate. How do you, first of all, the speed limit? I remember you and I talked
Hmm.
yesterday, and we were saying that
Yeah.
sometimes you do five miles over, you do 10 miles over, but it seemed like when you're in the front and you're 15 bikes back, it seemed like you have to go almost a little faster because the person in the front may be seeming like they're doing 70, 75, but if you 15 bikes back, it seems like you almost got to do, 80 to try to keep up because you're so far back. How do you communicate and keep the line together?
So you heard me talk about getting our foundation right, right?
Hmm.
Instead of just inviting everyone to ride with us, you heard me mention that we want to get ourselves together. So first, let's talk about how we ride. We have, myself leading the ride on some, or a road captain or sergeant at arms. We have headsets. We're talking to each other. We have a runner that is, I'm saying, hey, come in front of me so that you can block traffic, or we're getting ready to get over. Block out the back, block out the middle so that we can move the group over. What you're mentioning is what we call not pacing properly. If you know three elite, and this is not for every club, let me say that. But in riding in three elite, we ride in formation P1, P2, and we pace ourselves. So, my road captains, if they're on, what you're going to hear from me is if I'm doing 80 up front, I am constantly saying, what is the speed in the back? We have gotten this perfected that if I'm running 80 in the front, they're 80 in the back. And the way that you're maintaining that is you're maintaining your pacing. You're not throttling, slowing up, throttling, slowing up. So if you get a gap in your group and that pacing get off, you lose leverage and then
Right.
the back will run faster. So typically when that happens, if you are experiencing that and you have a communication system, your lead person slow down, your runner come over to the side and check and pacing on everyone, and then they give me the okay, and I'm saying let's go. And when I talk about, some people think you don't ride fun if you're riding in formation. If it's three or four of us together, and I can name a few without calling them out on this video, we can run. We anticipate what each other is going to do. So
Right.
the more you ride together as a club, and you start riding with individuals, you understand their styles. You're reducing your braking. You know their movement, and you know what to expect. Your prediction is better. And it's
Right.
just a safer ride for all of us so that our road captains can enjoy the ride as well.
How important it is to have someone in your club that's like the mechanic for the bikes. Like a bike go down and you riding 20, 25 deep. It's important to
Hmm.
have somebody that knows something about that bike to be able to keep the bike up and going. Or we was just talking the other day when we do our next ride, which is August the 24th. We're going to
Hmm.
dock and uh,
Doc and Deck, I saw
yes, dock and deck. Yes, yes, yeah. See, yeah, you got it. Yeah.
I got
If
you.
you're
I
not doing
followed.
anything, you're more than welcome to join us. You and your the rest of your club.
Yes.
But I think
Okay.
it's very important to have someone that's like driving with a trailer or
Hmm.
just driving a vehicle in case something like that does happen. The bike can be
Hmm.
put on a trailer, and that person or he or she can be put in the vehicle and still be able to enjoy the ride. What's your take on that?
Yeah. Hey, if you got the opportunity to do that, then great. Three wheels are new. They are a fickle little beast. To say that we would have a number of people, we do have two people in our club that can work on bikes. We have not mastered yet or needed yet support. And I hate that, we knock on wood. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
But I think the opportunity for improvement always exists. Skill sets is always needed. I would love to have, someone that can follow behind, but I think it's more important to keep the maintenance up on your bike.
Yes.
When we know we're riding, get your tires checked. You're burning out. It's cool. That's your choice. Just make sure your tires are ready for riding.
Right.
That's the most important thing, especially if you're doing long journey rides. If you're just in the city zipping around, that's your choice. But we really ride long distance, and so we're constantly checking pressure of tires, making sure you got your sway bar, making sure everything is up to date, and we preach that going into a ride. So right now, that is our plan is readiness, and we all have the towing service. So if something do happen, the bike can be towed. So, AAA do offer a motorcycle option. So for
Yes.
touring. So that's something that we do.
Okay. Yeah, because I
So
just I
it's
just
still
thought it
growing and
was.
still long.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be very helpful if since you do have a large club, or one day our
Yes.
club get to that point where we can suggest to bring a trailer whenever we go out in case anything do happen. We just push the bike into the trailer. Then he or she still can enjoy the ride because you don't
Absolutely.
want nobody to miss out on a ride. Just because their bike went down. You still want to let them have the option to be able to say, hey, let's just go ahead and put it in the trailer. Let's pull it. Let's go to our destination. When we get back, we'll drop it off at the shop. Then that way they can say that they've been on a journey with us than saying waiting to see all the videos and all the pictures,
Yes.
all the good food we done ate and all the fun we done had.
A lot of
So
fun, a lot of fun.
yeah,
So, I want to mention one thing too. I did skip something that is very, very important. We talked about our patch and how we came up with our patch, but something that kind of brought us together was bigger than the patch on the back. And I'm just going to share something with you quickly. And it's more of our crest, if you can see this. This is what 3 Elite represent. And this is our loyalty patch that we created, we designed, and it's our creed. And just as much as we represent that patch on the back, if you want to know who 3 Elite is, it's all around the loyalty, the family, the riding, the fellowship, the brotherhood, sisterhood, and it's encased by all about the ride where it started. So sorry to go back a little bit, but I
no, you
realized when I
fine, you
looked
great.
yeah, I really forgot something. And, I've been talking about this brotherhood, sisterhood, and standing behind our brand.
Brain, yeah,
That was another major step when we put that on over our heart and what that meant to us as a family, because that's what we are. And we're protective of our family, and we're real selective in how and who we let into this group, because we got a good thing going over here. And I am selective because, and I'll say I, and that can be replaced by any name in my group. When I say I, I'm laughing in my head because I can think of a few names saying it better not mess up our family.
yeah, yeah,
So the
yeah, yeah,
only time my family is ready for someone to invite a cousin in, if they really share that family brand for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. Well, they got to have the share the same values that you guys
Absolutely.
has already put out there in front of everybody to
Yeah.
see because
Yeah.
there's nowhere in the city that you can't mention your name and people don't know who you are.
Well, thank you. It is for us, and again, I say this: anyone can stand in front of us, in front of this camera, and say the same thing. It is not about quantity in the number. It is about quality. Um, and, we are one, but yet we come from different walks of life, but we walk as one, you know, and that's the most important thing.
That's good. Well, to sum it up, um, to anyone that's out there that wants to start a brand new bike club, what advice would you give them?
Take your time. Don't rush to build in numbers. I would say understand what your vision is. So when you are representing your brand, you know what you're trying to achieve. Uh, if that is big and strong, is big and strong. There's no right or wrong way. You just stand behind what you stand behind. And then, people will come to your vision if that's what you're truly standing behind. So take your time, build your foundation, give yourself grace and mercy. This is not easy. Make sure you're surrounding yourself as a leader with strong leaders. Um, and also, as a leader, know how to be led as well. So, there's a
Correct.
time for the leader to listen. And it is something that I often do within my group, and making sure I'm checking and balancing and listening as well. So, we're on the right path.
That's good. Well, I want to say thank you for
I
taking your
thank
time
you.
out this afternoon and letting us be a part of what you have to offer, the information, insight with 3Elite. And for those who want to get in contact with you to learn more, how can they reach you?
Absolutely. If you're not following us on Instagram or Facebook, please do so. Also, in the community, I'm friends with a lot of leaders within Atlanta and outside of Atlanta. So when you mentioned some of those names that reached out, it made me smile. Lando and I talked when he first started his group, and I think it was like 4 members, and he was excited about going to Vegas, and he's getting ready to go again. But reach out on my Facebook, Instagram, DM me, and I will respond. And if I don't know you, I look forward to getting to know you, and we can switch numbers and stay in touch. As one takeaway from Atlanta, I know mostly everyone. You know what, guys? Let's make this thing great, and whatever all of us decide to do in this city, and 3 Elite is non-biased, and we're for the community.
That's good. Hey, everybody, this has been an awesome experience to learn about how bike clubs function, learning about how they put together their bylaws, how they travel, and how they move as a
Yeah.
unit, and how they keep
Yes, we
family first. So I just love you. I
absolutely.
just love you for that. And like I said again, thank you for taking the time out to sharing with our audience here at Explore Magazine. And we look forward to having more, um, conversation like this with you. And also too, don't forget August 24th. If you are available, and if anybody
Hmm.
in your camp is available, they're more than welcome to join us on our ride, Leesburg, Alabama. So until the next time,
Oh, okay.
everybody. Till the next time,
All
everybody,
right.
I want to say thank you
And thank you.
and
And
good
thank you,
night.
DC.
You're welcome. Anytime. My doors are always open to you. So we're going to
Yeah.
shut this thing down. You don't go nowhere, Melville. We just got to
Okay.
close this thing out. All right. See you guys later.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.